Hey guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, we're going to be talking about Messinho. Some more reports have been coming out regarding the young Brazilian talent. And as well, we're going to be briefly talking about both Jesse Lingard, which was completely out of the blue, and as well as Christensen. Could Christensen potentially be on his way out? But guys, before we get started on the video, make sure to follow me on all of my social media platforms. Everything is posted down below in the description. Make sure to go check me out over there. That way you guys can stay up to date with everything that we do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight into the video and let's talk about Messinho. And this is reported by Roger Torreo from Mundo Deportivo, and he's a fantastic, reliable journalist regarding Brazilian players. Now, Messinho, green light from Barcelona to Estevão William Messinho. The club is determined to sign him. With Barcelona's okay, both Messinho and his agent, Andre Curry, Vitor Roque's agent as well, will work in the negotiations with Palmeiras. Palmeiras intend to respect the player's decision, but first they would have to negotiate with Barca. Barca have not closed his signing already because of the FFP of La Liga, as they have other priorities right now. And Messinho will only be able to arrive in the summer of 2025 after he turns 18. Messinho is underage, and of course, due to La Liga regulations, etc., he would not be able to play until he's 18, and this is completely different to other players such as like Gavi or Lamine Yamal, because these guys, they're registered as Barcelona B players. The plan would be to pay a small fee to Palmeiras now, and a large part of the fee when he actually arrives at Barca in a year and a half's time. Messinho only wants to play for Barca, and also his agent and family see Barca as the ideal club. Barca see Messinho as a player who can mark an era, and he is very much liked by Deco. Taking both things into account, they will work together so that the operation can be closed. And this is reported by Roberto Torreo. And continuing on with the report, just some clubs that are interested. We did talk about this before, but Man City, Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, PSG, they're all interested in Messinho. But luckily for us, he only wants to play for Barcelona, and Barcelona want him. Now, let's take all of this information on and let's talk about some of the arguments. And this is a tweet that has been going around throughout social media regarding the argument whether we should be going for Messinho or whether we should not. Number one, we already have Lamine Yamal, who's equally as talented, if not more. Two, the squad is in dire need of a DM reinforcements, and we do not have a ton of money to work with. It doesn't matter when you pay a 50 plus million commitment on a 16-year-old is highly significant, irrespective of the structure. Three, what's the long-term plan here? How do you accommodate the development of two kids playing in the same position without sacrifices? They are both right wingers. It doesn't matter if they can't play if they can play elsewhere. Moving one centrally would mandate a complete system change, likely coming at the expense of one of the midfielders who's sitting. Pedri, Gavi, Frankie. Number four, are you going to sell Rafinha and rely wholly on two teenagers? No. There for the future, are we really in a position to commit 50 million for output multiple years down the line? And this is Neil's opinion on Messinho. My opinion is this: signing Estevão is ultimately a luxury we cannot afford, not without serious immediate sacrifices. This isn't on a knock on the player. He's sensational, but the wiser thing to do in this situation is nurture your own, especially when he's Lamine freaking Yamal. Okay, now, guys, I threw a lot of information at you. Now, regarding the whole structure of the deal, before I talk about whether Barcelona should be going for Messinho, I think it's a very good idea. Pay a small fee just to guarantee him joining the club, and then as soon as he arrives, you pay the bulk of the transfer fee. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be roughly around like 50 million, and then taking the wages, it's going to be around like 50 million plus. There are other clubs, like the ones I mentioned, Man City, Chelsea, Man United, that are willing to pay a bigger chunk of the fee right now in order to secure a signing, which Parmenas they do want. But luckily, the player, he holds Barcelona in favor, and so it favors Barcelona in the negotiations. Now, regarding the arguments that I just posed, one, we already have Lamine Yamal, and I don't agree with that statement. We do have Lamine Yamal, but for example, Barcelona, they should always be stacked with quality. Just because we have Lamine Yamal in that position does not mean that we should be throwing, any talent that can be coming our way to the side. If if there's a talent right there, we should be going for it. If and especially a player of the talent level of Messinho. And the second comment that I do agree with is like, hey, is this the best use of 50 million? Because during the summer we don't have that much funds, and I said this time and time again, the number one priority for Barcelona this upcoming summer should be to sign a CDM. But obviously, the two CDMs that Barcelona they do want is both Zubamendi and Kimmich. Zubamendi, he's shown no interest of joining Barcelona, and Barcelona they do not want to give Real Sociedad money, knowing that they are in against Barcelona in the Negreira case. And two, Kimmich he wants to stay at Bayern, and Bayern are going to be asking a huge transfer fee for him. And so both of our first choice CDM options, they're not very likely, and we would have to be paying more than 50 million. And so when you're looking at where Barcelona can be spending this money, you're thinking, hey, possibly Joao Cancelo, Joao Felix. I don't think that we should be spending that money, but um, looking at the whole deal, 50 million for a 16-year-old, that is a lot of money. And as the quote said, we have to be very, very clever with what we spend. And the long-term plan, well, I mean, there are going to be injuries and there are going to be suspensions and there are going to be moments where everyone is playing, especially now in modern football where players are playing tons of games. Having two right wingers and even maybe three, it's the bare minimum of what you're going to be needed. Just look at what happened at the start of the season. We basically had most of our squad injured, and a ton of players were receiving minutes. Rafinha was out; he was suspended. He received injuries. And Lamine Yamal, he had a good run of games in there, and so having two right wingers, or maybe even three, I think it's going to be a very, very solid choice. Just to have that depth in that position, and whether we sell Rafinha, there are some questions regarding him. If we can receive a huge transfer fee for Rafinha, I would definitely be looking to sell him. But generally, my thoughts on Messinho is he's a fantastic player in that right wing position. I would be looking to bring him into the club, but only if Barcelona are can't basically sign that CDM replacement. And I definitely think that Messinho would be a talent that Barcelona appreciate for the many uh, next years to come. But guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on Messinho. What are your guys' thoughts on him? Would you guys want to see Barcelona go out and sign the young, talented Brazilian star? And now let's talk about something that was just completely out of the blue, and let's talk about Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard has offered himself to FC Barcelona. Now, just like with the Jadon Sancho and the Rafael Varane, this is just complete nonsense. And I don't see this happening whatsoever. And as well as like the Mason Greenwood, um, Jesse Lingard, he does not have the level required to play for Barcelona. He hasn't been at the top level of football for many years. He did have that great stint at West Ham, and so a small stint in Manchester United. But since then, he's just not been at the level required. And even if he was to play for free for Barcelona, I doubt that he would be starting in most of our games. And so I don't see why Barcelona would be going out for Jesse Lingard. But I just wanted to let you guys know. And let me know if you guys agree with me and if you guys would want to see him at the club. But lastly, guys, we're going to be talking about Christensen. Could he be on his way out? Now, I'm a huge fan of Christensen. I think Christensen has been one of our best defenders throughout the entirety of this season and last season. He barely makes any mistakes, and that's something that I commend. And FC Barcelona plan to sell Christensen in the summer for a big transfer fee and bring back Chiad Riyad. And this is reported by Sport. And thoughts on this? If Number one, I wouldn't want to sell Christensen because Christensen is one of the best center backs in the squad. Rarely makes any mistakes. And just looking at the stats, Andrew Christensen has a better pass success rate, 95.9%, than any other player in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. The guy is absolutely amazing on the ball, and his defensive awareness is just absolutely impeccable. And so the only way I would want us to par for Christensen is for a big, big transfer fee. And I'm looking at for like 80, 90, 100 million, something like that. Because there are very, very few top level center backs of Christensen's level available in the market. And this is something that I do want Barcelona to improve. It's their selling of players. We sell absolutely horrible. We buy poor and we sell even worse. And I if Christensen was to leave the club, I want a big transfer fee. And regarding Chiad Riyad, he's doing okay at Real Betis, but I just haven't seen enough to be to give an opinion about him. And I would definitely be more inclined to keep Christensen than sell him. But of course, if a huge offer arrives, I would be definitely tempted. But guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on Christensen's potential exit. How much would it take for you to depart with the Danish center back? But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that we have discussed. What do you guys make of Messinho? Would you guys like to see Barcelona pay that huge fee, 50 million, for the Brazilian youngster? Would you guys want to see Jesse Lingard at Barcelona, which I'm pretty sure none of you do? And lastly, guys, what do you make of Christensen potentially being on his way out? But guys, thank you guys all for watching. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And as always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys all in the next video.